I agree with the chairman, or the former chairman, now ranking member, that we disagree on a lot of policies. I mean, we really do. And we don't have to despise someone because they disagree with us. We don't have to disparage someone because they disagree with us. And we do need to dial the rhetoric down in the country and apparently in the committee. But today I wanted to focus on the differences of opinion. And, you know, I look at 1.4 million gotaways, and I wonder, who's in that group? And I know since you don't know who they are, you can't tell me. The Border Patrol guys can't tell me. Because I know right now, under your policies, that if they just turn themselves in, they're going to get processed and released into the country. So who would not want to go turn themselves into Border Patrol? Well, it's probably people that have some ill intent. You mentioned the increase in the detention and capture of felons and things like that under your watch. How many felons are in that 1.4 million gotaways? How many murderers? How many rapists? How many drug traffickers? You can't tell me. And I was really heartbroken to hear that you didn't understand the strategy of the cartel. It's almost intuitively obvious that they're sending mass waves of coyote-paid people to tie up the Border Patrol so they can send those gotaways, whether it's contraband or whatever, into our country. That really disappoints me. I think it's a failure. And what's caused it is the incentives. You've taken migrant protection protocols, all these policies. You know, we go back to the resources, right? As I made in my opening statement, we hadn't cut Border Patrol. We haven't cut yet this massive increase in people. Again, more than 12 years of 2 previous presidents, one of which you served under. It's interesting too when I talked to your boss from the first administration you served. Some of the things he suggested we do were undoing essentially the policies that y'all have undone. I mean, returning to some things like remain in Mexico. This is a policy issue. It's decisions made by you and your boss that have caused this spike. It's incentivized people. And when I talked to the chief of the Border Patrol and to some of your sector chiefs as we prepare to do our transcribed interviews with them, they're saying that the return agreements have all been allowed to expire. So ICE can't even send people back to certain countries because this is willful decisions to undo policies that were bringing the numbers down. You can't argue with that. And now suddenly we did away with those policies and the numbers are going right. I mean, it's astronomical. And it's that surge of people, and it can be well-intentioned. You can say, man, I want to help. I ran a medical missions. We went to Honduras. We went to Haiti. I want to help people who are hurting. But the drug cartels are taking advantage of this. With that open border, the mass waves of people coming, and they're taking advantage of us, and they are making billions of dollars, and we're empowering evil people with these policies. You talk about resources and wanting more resources. I want to tell you, we're going to drop a bill Friday. And that bill's going to have a lot more resources in some areas than you've even asked for. And I think you'll be very happy with many of the things in it. Now, we do undo what we believe are some of these policies that have resulted in this mass wave and the cartels being able to manipulate the situation and control 5 of our 9 sectors, as the border chief has said. But you're going to like a lot of the resource piece if you really believe that it's resources. I also want to talk a little bit about some of my colleagues. A lot of my colleagues talk about immigration reform, and I'm a small business guy, I run a healthcare company, and we need employees in this country. There are 10 million empty jobs in America right now. I want to fix our immigration system, but if we fix that first before we secure the border, we're just doing more of what you've done, which is to incentivize people to come without the security being present, and that's just going to make it worse. And so if we can secure our border, I'm ready to sit down and do immigration reform, but not make the incentives even greater so that even more come through the illegal mechanisms. So I just wanted to share that. Very quickly about the budget. I think the budget that you presented today increases a lot of money for processing people into the country and takes away money from stopping the illegal crossings and deporting people who've come here illegally. I mean, I think that's obvious if you look at the budget and add it all up. And again, your budget's just going to incentivize more people to come. The cartels are just going to take more advantage of it. And more Americans are going to die because of the fentanyl that will come into this country. And so that's why we're opposed to this. And as I said, I believe in the testimony that you gave, Chip Roy. I think you gave some false testimony. And I elaborated on that with video. And you and I can have a dialogue about that, but that's genuinely what I believe. I will say that you requested this hearing to bring your budget to our committee. I appreciate that. And it has been alluded to or actually stated out. We have plans to bring you back. So we'll see you again. I will tell you this, Mark Green has never, I've resisted any temptations to say impeachment because I don't have the authority. This committee doesn't have the authority to do that. So when someone says Mark Green said impeach, that's just not true. But what I have said is that we've got a 5-phase plan of oversight. And we're going to look at 5 specific areas and do oversight. That's my job. That's our job on both sides of this aisle up here. And so that is going to happen, and we'll look forward to talking to you again. Thank you again for being here. And with that, the committee is adjourned.